Understanding intuition is like dancing with the divine. It requires faith, boldness, and sensitivity. Some may say, but how can I understand my intuition? Intuition is the voice without words. To benefit from your inner voice, you must develop a new dimension of perception, a new form of understanding, a different type of awareness. We have an inner life that is waiting to be explored. There are languages that consist less of words and more of different dimensions of perception. This is the means by which intuition, the higher dimension, relays messages to you. Because we do not understand the inner workings of our being, our emotions, or even our mental processes, to tap into this endless reservoir of knowledge and wisdom, a new form of learning must be applied. Tools of discernment between true and false, emotion and intellect, and at times a hybrid of both intertwined, plus other elements layered over. What is intuition? A higher form of thinking, messaging, and understanding without explanation. Like many other things, only practice makes perfect. Precise practice. Intuition is largely viewed as feminine energy. And this is the living sign that feminine energy must be understood not to mean weak energy and not to be demeaned. More on masculine and feminine energy at a later date. Women and children are more likely to be intuitive than men. Women, I think, because they generally are more sensitive. Listening to the inner workings and higher vibrations require learned sensitivity. Children have less inhibitions, and they also have genius within them at a young age. Men are more guarded and fearful of being wrong. In addition, the male ego is instructed not to let go. The way of the inner life is a journey where the one, like Neo in the Matrix, must learn to embrace vulnerability and see instead strength. The concept of genius, I believe, is directly linked with a relationship with higher energy, a relationship with one's intuition. But let's progress. Oftentimes, rationale in its bluntest form is an enemy of intuition. Rationale must, as male energy, learn to understand and benefit from the feminine power of intuition. There must be a marriage, a oneness between the two. A oneness, yes, a complementary existence, rather like a marriage that has stood the test of time. I throw a spear into the darkness. That is intuition. Then I must send an army into the darkness to find the spear. That is intellect. This quote came from Ingmar Bergman, and it's a perfect example on how the intellect and intuition must work as one team. The objective mind must be transformed. As the Bible says, renew your mind. Some say that intuition also draws on the individual's experience. Through a dossier of experiences, we are able to determine the true from the false. This also enhances the process of understanding your intuition. Intuition defies logical explanation. You will sense or be prompted to do a thing that cannot logically be explained. Why? Because this form of knowing is far higher than logic. Intuition provides you with awesome revelation. but it will not give you the whole picture at once. Revelation is progressive, as I like to say. And this is another reason why boldness is key. Let trust and obey be your watchwords when you operate with your intuition. But please understand that thought plays a major partnership role with intuition. But thought shouldn't seek to master intuition, but rather be part of the process, working as a crucial teammate. How do we differentiate intuition from other voices in our head? First and foremost, beware of the loudest voice in your head. It isn't intuition. The loud voice is most probably your ego. This voice also has its uses, but it is not intuition. Intuition flows from a place of peace. Ego is attached to various other things, none of them peaceful. This is one of the reasons your ego always seeks to overturn intuitive promptings. It loves to be in control. Some have compared the voice of the ego with the voice of the adversary, the original name for Satan. Intuition is the voice without words. When you get an initial prompt from your intuition, the language is non-verbal. Intuition has no form of expression with the emotion of fear. It is the spirit of boldness, and without boldness, you won't be able to fully operate with intuition. Thomas Keating said this: "The chief thing that separates us from God is the thought that we are separated from God." I mentioned vulnerability earlier. If you can't embrace vulnerability, you won't be able to develop a deeper relationship with your inner being. I will refer to the first video I did on intuition, where I asked my intuition a question, seeking to understand. Then I got an answer. This answer laid the foundation for the relationship I have today with my intuition. So, in order to understand intuition, ask questions. But you must understand that intuition is not bound by time or space. You may need an immediate answer, but intuition sees things differently from you. Intuition sees the end from the beginning and is not bound by time, space, or pressure. But intuition will always have your best interest at heart. To actively work with your intuition is to develop a more peaceful existence. But be emotionally detached from any outcome when you ask intuition a question. If you do not do this, you are saying to your intuition, "I know better," or "I prefer to let my emotions take the wheel instead of you." A quiet mind is a sign of faith. A troubled mind is an indication that fear reigns supreme in that mind. Intuition is the lightest, gentlest, most peaceful voice within us. Intuition thrives in quiet. And to all our listeners, please subscribe, share, and like this video if you find it informative.